Hello. So today for our Ayurveda video, we are going to be working with meditation to balance Kapha. So let's talk a little bit about Kapha first. Kapha is the energy of the earth and the water combined. It is the heaviest energy in Ayurveda. It is the dynamic when imbalanced of dullness, lethargy, exhaustion, feeling that there's no light, that there's no prana, oftentimes depression, issues of digestion being sluggish, constipation, lots of mucus tends to be the case with imbalanced Kapha. Back at home in Pennsylvania, it's springtime, and the end of winter into spring tends to be high Kapha season because everything is wet in the water element. The earth is fresh and working. There's a lot of heaviness, a lot of allergies, this kind of thing. But from the meditation standpoint, and with each video of Ayurveda, we work with the imbalanced factors with the dosha, and then we also work with elevating that which is already positive or liberated with the dosha. So with meditation with Kapha, what we want to work on is not falling into that lethargy that comes with restfulness, with ease. Ease and restfulness are customary for Kapha. Kaphic people, if your Kapha is imbalanced and that's your strongest imbalance, your experience will often be just feeling very lazy. It's very easy to just be and not do anything. Whereas for Vata and Pitta, that's more challenging. For Kapha, it's no problem. I often think of when it's a rainy day outside, how we all feel that urge to just rest and be. That's a very Kaphic feeling. From the meditative standpoint, though, when we come into meditation, we're often encouraged to relax and rest, and that's perfect. But if you're already Kaphic, a lot of times that can turn into sleep. It can turn into a feeling of complete lethargy and of not being actively awake and present in your ease. Simultaneously, one of the liberated qualities of Kapha is that ease. So finding a balance between sparking that light, that wakefulness, while encouraging the liberated quality of ease in Kapha. Just not letting it go over to that lethargy and that sleepishness. So we're going to do 3 practices as we usually do with the Ayurveda videos. For a Kaphic meditation, we're going to work with 3 practices that ignite the other elements in the body and the mind and the pranic field that are not earth and water. Okay? So what we're going to be working with is elevating the fire element. We're going to be working with elevating the air element. We're going to be working with connecting to space. So the first practice we're going to do is going to be the Yogini's breath, which is a meditation, a pranayama, that works with the subtle body. Anytime you connect to the subtle body, what you are doing is connecting to the space element. Okay? So that automatically, for obstructed Kapha, for someone who's feeling lethargic and depleted, it's a meditation that allows our attention to elevate and allows us to connect to those subtler realms of prana. Then we're going to do a practice called the golden light or prana exercise, where we visualize taking the heat of the sun, or of the cosmos, the warmth and strong and refined pranas of the sun, of the cosmos, into different parts of the body. There's a particular sequence with it, and traditionally, usually you do it lying down, but because we're trying to work on balancing Kapha, I want us to do it seated, which you're more than welcome to do, and it's a beautiful way of doing it. It's a way of keeping Kapha from that sleepishness that comes with lying down, and still cultivating the heat, the fire element. And then we'll work with this candle practice that we do in the heart center. If anyone's ever done Bhuvaneshwari sadhana with me, this is a practice that we do with the emotions, and it's deeply tied to the Dakini mandala as well. We're not going to work with the emotions today, although there's a way that we can do that, and maybe in another video we will. Today we're just going to work on feeling the heart center and this fire. Now, the heart center in particular is tied to the air element. And the quality of the heart holds something really, really refined that in my experience is really beneficial for Kapha to attune to. Because the heart center is the air element, so it's already going to elevate our pranic awareness, our pranic field, just by bringing attention to it. But then simultaneously the heart center and the heart chakra, anahata, holds within it that devotional quality that's very deeply tied to the liberated state of Kapha. The heart center is said to be the only space in the subtle body that can recycle anything from its obstructed state to its liberated state. And Kapha, from a liberated standpoint, is an energy of pure devotion. Kaphic people tend to be incredibly devoted. They tend to stay committed to things for a very long time. And from a practice standpoint, they tend to be drawn toward the devotional practices. So more of sadhana and these practices, the different vehicles of consciousness that we've worked with in this course. Kaphic energy tends to pull toward that devotional quality. So the heart center has both the balance of the air element that can uplift Kapha, while also nourishing this devotional quality of its liberated state. So we'll do the candle practice in the heart center. You don't need a candle for it, we'll visualize a flame. And so as with any meditation practice, you want to be comfortable. My recommendation to you is to really provide yourself with a space where you can be super upright. My secondary dosha is Kapha, and I definitely have those moments during meditation and just want to dive into the ease, and then it falls into a sleepishness. So something I do when I'm feeling particularly Kaphic is I find a way of being supported when I sit. We did this with the Pitta meditation, but it was for a different reason. For the Pitta meditation, we wanted to be supported so that we could cultivate ease, because Pitta tends to be the overdoer of the doshas. With Kapha, we want to make support so that the uprightness is continual. This upright quality of the spine is signature to human beings. There aren't any other animals in our kingdom that can sit like this, and there's a reason for that. We're meant to sit like this because the nervous system is able to acclimate, refine, and integrate energies in a particular way, and this happens when the spine is upright. It's only something that human consciousness can do through the nervous system. So if we can find a way to support that uprightness, it will keep us out of the sleepishness a little bit and really, really work on elevating energy and consciousness. So I'll sit against the wall, I'll sit in a chair, I'll really sit upright, and take a lot of that lift, okay? If you've been in my asana classes physically before, a lot of times we'll use a bolster against the wall. Bring it to the length of your spine, so there's something upright behind you. Just encouraging that energy. Just take a moment to get comfortable. Take a moment to get situated. And close your eyes. And as with any meditation practice, I encourage you to take some time before you begin the actual meditation to just be. To be with what you're feeling. To be with whatever energies are in the body right now. to be with wherever the mind is. It's important when you're meditating to remember that whatever thoughts come up, it's okay. So often we interpret the success of meditation having to do with how many thoughts are there. If there's less thoughts, we're more successful. That's not really true. When we become present, and we really, really refine that quality of presence, the mind actually defends its role, its usefulness, by perpetuating more thought. On top of which, we always have that many thoughts. It's not because you're meditating that the thoughts are appearing, but rather your fixation on the present moment allows you to actually see them. So whatever state your mind is in, it's fine. Doesn't mean that the meditation is going to be successful or not based on how many thoughts you're having. So allow it to just be, and start to really refine the possibility of seeing that you're thinking rather than fixating on the thought. You feel the ground beneath you. And feel the sky above. Become aware of the length of your spine. To know that with the yogi's breath, which we're about to take on, you can either focus on the length of your spine, or you can focus on the central channel. So orienting to the length of your spine, bring your attention forward of the spine. So the spine to the back of the pelvis. Bring your attention forward of that, to the center of the pelvis, to the center of the pelvic floor. So to the center of the body. And imagine that a light rises up from the center of the pelvic floor all the way through the center of the body, all the way up to the crown of the head. I often use the analogy of a lightsaber, just because we all have that reference point. So it's a thick column of light down the center of the body. So if that's easy for you, or best for you, visualize that. If it's challenging in a way that's distracting, just pay attention to the length of the spine, because the mantras and the vibration will go where it needs to go. Become aware of your breath. And now feel on your inhale that your awareness moves from the base of the spine, from the base of the central channel, all the way up to the crown. And as you exhale, take it back down to the base. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. And let each breath be this movement, this rise and fall. As the inhale rises up this column, hear internally the sound Om. And as the exhale moves down, hear internally the sound Eem. Om on the inhale, Eem on the exhale. Now letting go of the mantra, just be aware of the light, of this column of light. And the column of light is always there, whether we visualize it or not, but just for the sake of shifting, imagine that it dissolves. So now you are your body here and you're breathing. Take 3 deep breaths to make a clear transition. And slowly, gently open the eyes. Take a moment to stretch out if you're doing the video in sequence. And so the next practice we're going to do is the golden light or golden prana exercise. I learned this in my Kapha teacher training with Parvati. It's a practice that is often done in Lakshmi sadhana, because Lakshmi is tied to the energy of the sun of the cosmos, of that radiant light. So if you have a reference point for Lakshmi, if you have a relationship to Lakshmi, you're more than welcome to imagine that she is bringing that light in. For those of us that don't, we're going to work with the sun, okay, because we've all experienced the warmth of the sun. What this practice entails is that we move our hands in particular ways to particular regions of the body. And I'll explain to you why your hands are there. This is a practice that can be done on a regular basis. And if you find that meditation tends to make you a little lethargic, which is not uncommon, by the way. I think it should be known that meditation makes a lot of people lethargic, because meditation is like a jolt of energy. It's like being electrocuted a little bit, because you're taking all of your attention and putting it on this moment. And if you're not used to that, it can be very exhausting. Even if you are used to it, depending on the day, it can be very exhausting. So if you find that meditation tends to do that to you, it tends to make you tired, it tends to put you in a kaphic state, I would recommend doing this practice regularly in order to sustain your prana, sustain your energy, and keep you awake. So when we come into it, I'll have you put your hands in different positions after we initially start. And I literally want you to imagine that the light of the sun is coming into the different areas. And we'll hold it there, and I'll explain to you what it's healing, what it's soothing, what it's giving prana to. After that, we're going to come to Shavasana for a bit. Then we're going to come up and do the last meditation to end. So just be prepared for that. Maybe take a moment if you need to ensure that there's everything ready for that. Okay? So you want to start upright. And get comfortable once again. I want you to visualize the sun above your head. It is bright and it is warm. See if you can even connect to the warmth above your head. Now imagine that the sun enters the crown of your head and it descends down the body and it comes to the navel. Now I want you to bring your hands over the navel, right hand on top of left. I want you to imagine, visualize, that the sun is here warming this area of the navel. Not just the front, but the sides and the back of the body as well. 360 degrees in line with the navel. Feel that this warmth is soothing the digestive tract, the stomach. A few more breaths here. And now transition the hands to the lower abdomen. Okay? Spread the fingers out so the hands are no longer on top of one another. And imagine that the light from the sun is moved to the lower abdomen. And feel that it's warming this area, front, side, and back. Soothing and healing it with the warmth. Feel the warmth. Soothing the reproductive organs. pelvis and hips. The intestines. The kidneys. The other internal organs. And now taking it up to the upper abdomen, below your ribs but above your navel. Okay? Hands are separated. I want you to feel as though you're directing energy into the diaphragm. Okay? And again, visualize that the sun is filling this area, this golden prana from the sun. Front, sides, and back. Soothing the diaphragm that supports our breathing in Manipura chakra. Now taking your hands to the groin, the hands are separate. Okay. Visualizing the heat of the sun moving here. Soothing the ground floor of the chakras, the Muladhara, warming and heating and soothing the sexual organs, front and back as well. So feeling the tailbone, sacrum, now let's take our hands back and bring your palms to your sacrum. And visualize the heat coming into the sacrum specifically. The warmth and prana of the sun. You may start to feel very warm. It's not uncommon. Not necessarily in a sweating way, but this internal heat. The heat of tapasya, of transformation. Now releasing from the sacrum, cross your arms so your hands are on your ribs, okay? The low ribs. Send the heat and prana of the sun to the lower rib cage. Soothing the lungs. Front, back, sides. And then crossing the arms again, but this time under the armpits. Okay. And sending the warmth to the upper chest, to the lymph system. To the upper back. And moving the hands to the collarbones, hands separated. Taking it now into the throat, to the thyroid, the heat and prana of the sun. Just visualize it. Taking it to the sides of the neck. Okay, arms crossed. Bringing it into the throat. Taking the hands to the sides of the face, the temples, letting the heat move in through there. Now bringing your hands to the crown. Right hand on top of left, and visualize that heat moving into the crown. Soothing the brain, nourishing the brain with this prana of the sun. Releasing it. Feel how warm the body is. Now finding your way into Shavasana, into corpse pose. You won't hold it for long. It's a great opportunity now. Lie down and you're warm. Warmth keeps Kapha elevated. Lie down. Make sure you're comfortable. And close your eyes. And see if you can take 10 deep breaths. Full attention, full awareness, full alertness. See if you can take another 10. Present, clear. Now bring your attention back to the room, back to this body. Feel the breath start to deepen simply by bringing your attention to it. And slowly start to move your hands and feet. Stretching your arms overhead, your legs away. And roll to your right side. Hug your knees into your chest. Pause. And slowly press yourself up to sit. Now traditionally with this practice we do something called the Vyapaka Mudra. Traditionally we use a mantra with it, but I'm just going to show it to you. It's perfectly accessible if you don't have a mantra to use. And what it does is it's basically a way of cleansing the energy. So I want you to take your hands up, okay? Pinkies together. When we get to the heart center, this will change. Okay, so palms face you. Okay, start up high. Lower down. Over the body. When you get to the heart center, invert your fingers in, and then let the index fingers touch as you go down. Sweeping across the legs, and then come back up. Invert at the heart, pinkies together. So, feel how warm you are. Take a moment to just observe how different you feel. The golden prana exercise is so simple, such a simple thing, but it can do a lot for cultivating that heat, that warmth, that energy. So the next practice we're going to do is the light in the heart center. As I said at the beginning, there's many other ways of doing this practice, and there's ways of doing it that involve the emotions. Maybe at a later date we'll incorporate that. Right now I just want to get the energetic standpoint of expanding out from the heart, of building this air element quality, the warmth quality, the fire element, and also really resonating with that devotional dynamic of the heart. So seated up tall again. Remember with these videos you can always take what you like and use it. So you don't have to do all of these in line with each other, by no means. You can do them all if you'd like. You can take any of them and do them separately. Okay. So sitting up tall, head, neck, and trunk in a long line. One way you'll know that Kapha is liberated from the mind is when the thoughts can be traced back clearly. When Kapha is heavy in the mind, what tends to happen is that not only do we get caught up in thought, but it's so sluggish that we don't even remember how we got there. Be clear, crystal clear. You know how you got to this thought and what came before it. Or better yet, eventually you'll get to the point as you liberate Kapha where there won't be enough thoughts to even have to trace back. Bring your attention to the heart center, to Anahata chakra. And now remember that the chakras are 360 degrees around the body, so the front, the sides, and the back. Just like we were drawing that energy of the sun in, visualize this energy field around the heart and around the back as well. And imagine that deep in the depths of the heart center is called the heart cave in the tantras. Deep in this heart cave, there is a light. There is a flame. And you see it there. Not too big. Maybe there's a few shadows because of it, lighting a little bit of the darkened space. Now we're going to allow our breath, our inhales, to expand the light. The next time you inhale, feel that the light gets a little stronger, a little brighter, a little bigger. Now when you exhale, feel that it comes back to its original size. The next inhale, feel that it gets a little bit bigger than the last. And not just visualizing, but feeling the warmth internally. When the exhale comes, it retracts back to its original size. Each inhale gets a little bigger. With each exhale, back to its original size. Now for today, I'm not going to have us go beyond the room we're in, how big it gets. So try not to go for big and bold right away. Feel the subtlety of it. The inhale, it expands a little more. Feel the warmth building in the heart center. The exhale, back to the original size. A few more breaths like this. Now, the light, when it grows, is out to the edges of the body. Now, with the next inhale, feel it expands just outside the body. And exhale, it moves back to its original size. And now start to feel that the light is expanding beyond the ridges of your body, slowly but surely. Every exhale, back to the original size. A few breaths like this. Now feel that the light begins to fill the room that you're in. Every inhale, it extends a little further. And not just the front, but the sides and the back. Exhale, you draw it in. Now feel that the light is filling the room. So when you inhale, it's completely filling the room, this light of the heart center. When you exhale, it comes back to this little size. More inhale out, and exhale, bring it back to the size it is in the heart center. this original flame. You feel that although it is small, in comparison to the size you felt it grow, it holds within it all of the energy of the largest size. It has the power to touch the cosmos. Deepening your breath. Deepen your awareness of breath. And slowly, gently opening the eyes. And stretch out your legs. So these are some practices you can do to balance out kapha, some meditation practices. They're all safe to do regardless of your level of practice. You can do them any time of day, and I recommend if one resonated with you to do it consistently. If you have questions, as always, you can get in touch with me. If there's any contraindications you're worried about or anything like that, just reach out. Hope you enjoy your practice, and I hope those of you on the East Coast use this now that it's Kapha season.